If the wanderer still believes in stops at churches, congregations, or any external temple, he will still be in the period of wasting time, even if it is precious to him. To believe that something or someone can guide him, is to hand over his happiness and the work that is his own, into the hands of another and, consequently, without any possibility of success. A little attention to speeches and guidelines is already enough to understand that there is nowhere, nothing, and no one that holds the knowledge that is inherent to the being. Unguided individual meditation, as has been repeatedly emphasized, is an opportunity for a unique dialogue of the being with himself. What will be revealed is permanent and will underpin the next learnings. No one will know the distance he is on the path until he comes into contact with himself, at which point this distance, the next steps, and the path itself will be shown to him. The wanderer will then recognize the need to guard this knowledge, and will proceed more silently, more prudently, more carefully, more animatedly, and more wisely. In the unveiling of the book, the first realization is the awareness of being, in an initial unknown environment, where everything needs to be learned. Nothing manifests without a being mover. The being mover is the essence of anything. The being mover, in the beginning, occupies a body that receives an identification and a designation. Gradually, the being mover acclimates, which is depicted in the allegory of creation, where the being gradually names the elements that make up the new world. The requirement of the being mover's existence in manifestation demands the existence of an equal and opposite counterpart, as the mentally created environment is dual in gender, polarity, correspondence, and cause and effect. The movement of each element occurs solely in the Creator's mind, where the universe has its place. There are no limits in this Creator's mind, and it is from it that the mental part accompanies the being mover, by where and with whom it connects. The great paradox is that the original Creator's mind comes from the being that lends the being mover to each element of the created universe, subordinating the being mover to the Creator's mind. Any allegory refers to this. Consciousness is prior to the Creator's mind and, although being the only real presence in creation, it is still unknown to the being mover. The being mover, as part of the being that lends it, has an eternal connection with the being of which it is a part, recognizing it by the unstoppable flow of consciousness which gradually manifests in the being mover, and this one acts by alone in the Creator's mind, and has free access to consciousness. The encounters with its counterpart, when they occur, intensify the perception of consciousness by amplifying the vibration and rhythm of the perceptible states inherent to the being mover, without which the being mover would be powerless in the mental universe. The intensified absorption of aspects of consciousness, and consciousness itself, gradually dissolves the needs for existence in creation, while gradually coagulating the consciousness of existence in the real being. To each one, and at each moment, is given the proportional opportunity of this knowledge. Each being will also react proportionally to the knowledge received, in accordance with the extent of insertion that keeps him in the mental creation.